Visited. And we're fortunate to have with us to talk about President Obama's economic policy revisited, Dr. MParuchuri. Dr. MParuchuri is a professor at Tennessee State University in the School of Business and in the Department of Economics and Finance. And of course, Dr. MParuchuri, let me welcome you to the show this morning.
Thank you, sir.
And to tell you, Dr. MParuchuri, how delighted we are to have you here. And I think that our audience probably noticed that the title of this is a revisit of Mr. Obama's economic policy. And the reason we call it a revisit of that policy is because you were the person who gave us some information about the economic situation that Mr. Obama faced when, even before he became President of the United States. And I think the predictions were rather dire at that particular time. So let's give you an opportunity to talk about that. But before we do so, Dr. MParuchuri, let's have you to give us some information for those who did not see the last show about your background, education, and some of the things that led you to Tennessee State University. And then we'll talk about Mr. Obama's plan.
I got my bachelor's degree from Osmania University in India. Then I came to this country in 1958 and finished my master's degree at University of Wyoming in Laramie, Wyoming, and then did some graduate work towards my PhD at University of Utah and Case Western Reserve University in Cleveland, Ohio. I got my PhD from University in London, and I have been teaching ever since 1968 here in Tennessee State University.
And so you've got quite a bit of time at Tennessee State University.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I also teach a little bit part-time at Fisk University also, teaching economics and finance courses.
You know, Dr. MParuchuri, the last time you were here with us, as we indicated earlier, there was a pretty severe economic situation. Why don't you sort of give our audience an overview of some of the things that you talked about during that time?
Well, during that time, you know, we had a very, very depressing economy at that time. And if it was not for the change in the administration, we would have a situation, an economic situation, which would have been like what President Roosevelt had faced. And that was the greatest depression. It's not only this country, but all over the globe. You know, they experienced the same problems as we did, because we did not have enough buying power to buy the foreign goods, and so those countries which are depending on us, they could not get their products sold to us. Therefore, their economies got worse. And so it was a whole, around the globe, the economies were very in a dire conditions. So ever since that time, now thank goodness we have a change in the administration, and President Obama has been trying very hard to push through some of the pieces of legislation which he talked all along as not only as a senator, but as a candidate for presidency. He did talk about these things, and he is trying to implement right now to improve our economic conditions, to uplift the people who are in dire poverty level. And so he started off, one of the major programs which he started off is the health care plan, which is going to help more than 30 million people who have been uninsured now. So we are hoping that it is going to be implemented pretty soon, and it would help enormous number of people. And number of the people today, besides those poor people, number of people who are denied coverage by the insurance companies because they have pre-existing conditions or something they did not like, and they see the expenses for them are going to be a lot more if they continue the policies. They try to see any possible way they can get rid of those candidates who have been a big burden on them financially.
Okay, Dr. Paruchuri, we're coming up to our first commercial break, but this is essentially what we wanted to deal with, because a lot of folks don't seem to appreciate where we are now in terms of this economic revival or this economic recovery. And I think the information that you're laying out indicates that we were in a pretty bad situation. And of course, we'll be back with our audience following this very, very short commercial break.